That light flashing. Taz. The light. The camera's flashing. Can they see it on their end though? The camera flashing? Uh-huh. You see it's flashing. It still is. I don't know if they can see it on that end though. Okay, if not, it's fine. I don't gotta pay no attention to it. All right, smooth. It ain't on? Let me see. It says it's on. Uh-huh. Yeah, it says it's on. Look at me running my motherfucking mouth. Hold on. Shalom. All right, Salaki, yeah, my fault, man. I had to my bad on the delay, man. I had to deal with as soon as I started live, some really important phone calls I had to deal with before I got started. So first and foremost, we give all praises, all honor, and all glory to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Yahweh. And we do so in the name of his only begotten son, who the world calls Christ, and Mashiach Yahweh Shai. It's your brother, Ahlazar BanLawya. I'm not even going to put no titles on it. It just is what it is. I'm speaking to y'all as a brother. I'm not speaking in any official capacity as it stands presently. As it stands presently, I won't be doing that. I won't be doing any of that for right now. We're just going to deal with this issue, this situation, and the truth of it. A lot of y'all are crazy, but, that's okay. I understand. Ecclesiasticus 11:7, blame not before thou hast examined the truth. Understand first and then rebuke. So it's important to have a full examination of truth, right? A full examination of truth before you get to blaming people and blaming things and coming to conclusions. And that's reiterated here in the book of Proverbs 18 and verse 13. He that answer a matter rather, before he heareth it, it is folly and shame unto him, right? It's folly and shame unto him. So it's a folly and shame for people to answer matters before they have a full understanding of the situation. So the wisest thing to do when you hear one side of a story and a narrative, the wisest thing to do is to wait and listen for the entirety of the information to develop, right? For the entirety of the information to develop. Hold on. So those things are key. So let's talk about how we got here, right? How we got here. I want to talk about that because a lot of people may not understand how we got here, and I want to make a few things clear. Right. Let's talk about how we got here. So, I have a marriage that had been on the rocks for a long time. And it kind of came to a boiling point. I kind of got fed up, and I had been fed up earlier in the year. And but I kind of was at my wit's end, and the way that the situation lined up, it just kind of made sense, to put her out of the house. Um, so me and her have 2 children together. The wife in question, the one who's, provided information to Ariella and her side. And, I put her out the house, and, I've been paying her, just giving her, money for the kids on a weekly basis and things of that nature. So this is kind of where the things stem from. Now, she had a meeting, or not a meeting. She just had an outing with some sisters, that I had no idea about. And not that it was a problem, but while I was in New Orleans. And in that meeting, she began expressing certain things. And there was a few other sisters there, and she allegedly swore them into secrecy, instead of keeping secrets. They went and they told 2 of them went and told their husbands. One of them husband is an informant. And I'm not just saying that. I'm not just making things like that up. I've been got the phone calls from back home about him. And, all of a sudden he starts moving the information around. Things get to Hassad, and, Hassad reaches out to my wife, and, they began to commiserate. The other woman involved, she goes to her husband, same thing. So now everybody's commiserating, which is kind of not a problem. But, my thing is, I know all these individuals in question. I've known them for many years. They all have my direct contact. They know my address. They know where I live. If they felt I was doing something so wrong, biblical protocol is to either confront me about it or elevate it, go to the elders, bring me to counsel, things like that. I was completely unaware that these individuals were having meetings with my wife and essentially conspiring to launch a smear campaign against me, fueled by information, one-sided information provided by my wife. I had no clue until yesterday when I was tipped off. So just so everybody understands, the other day when I did my live and I was like, I'm going through stuff, and y'all pray for me. It ain't had nothing to do with none of this at all. Not at all. So I had no idea. Now, mind you, I had spoken to the individual involved, not Hassad, but the other individuals involved I had been speaking with this whole time while they are hatching this plan against me. And even up until the day, like, I texted Ariella in the morning yesterday, and he loved the message and didn't say a word to me about any of this. So I would love to understand where the love is. And if you think I'm committing a grave error, why I wouldn't have been confronted about that, and why instead guys ran straight to the internet and tried to air me out. That's very confusing. And I would like to just ask the audience out there to truly consider the motives of an individual who would do that to somebody who they know they allegedly love, they've been down with and around for years. They would literally commiserate with their wife secretly and not make them aware, not confront them, not bring them to counsel on something they think they're doing wrong, but they would rather go directly to YouTube. That's crazy. That's really crazy. Everybody who knows me knows that Priest Gahan or Elder Minister Shalimar from Light of Zion can always be reached can always pull my coattail, can always bring me to counsel. Everybody and their mama who know me in Israel know that. So anybody who didn't do that and instead ran to YouTube's motives must be called into question. Must be. Must be called into question, man. So let's go here in Proverbs real quick. 11 and 9 now. And the hypocrite with his mouth destroyeth his neighbor, but through knowledge shall the just be delivered. There's hypocrisy that's going on here, right? And I'm gonna skip down to 13. A talebearer revealeth secrets, but he that is of faithful spirit concealeth the matter, right? So talebearers reveal secrets, but faithful people conceal matters, right? So the fact that these guys are operating in the spirit of talebearing, because that's what this is, and that's what everybody's taking part in, actual sin. It's a total attestation to the lack of spiritual integrity that individuals have when they talebear. They're not faithful people when they talebear, especially when they have more than enough opportunity to confront the individual who they believe is at fault. Everybody had an opportunity to talk to me and didn't. But let's go to Matthew now, because I'm talking about hypocrisy, and I'm going to explain exactly why I'm talking about hypocrisy. Well, let's go to Matthew 7 and start at 1, right? Judge not, that ye be not judged. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged. And with what measure ye mete, it shall be measured to you again. And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thy own eye? Or how wilt thou say, thy brother, let me pull out the mote of thine eye, and behold, a beam is in thy own eye? Thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of thy own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye. So there's obvious hypocrisy that's taking place here. We have Ariala making a video about me, and alleging sexual misconduct on my part, when Ariala backdoored and stole one of his closest friends in the truth's wife and committed adultery with her. That's not speculation. I literally presided over the council where it was determined. That's not speculation. That's not screenshots of text messages that are confidential correspondence between a man and wife. That is an absolute fact that Ariala backdoor slimed one of his closest niggas in the truth and committed adultery with his wife. That's a fact, right? So that's an actual emphatic physical action of sexual sin and fornication, and you're pointing the finger over here. That's interesting. That's very, very interesting. The young lady in question, you know, because guys got screenshots. Okay, that's cool. Young lady in question, I got screenshots, right? So now my sexuality is being called into question. Okay, cool, right? I have no problem with that because I know I'm a heterosexual. Let's see what this woman, that's Ariala's phone number, just like he put my number all out. That's Ariala's phone number. Let's see what this woman confronts him about. She says, you broke tabernacles to go out of town and hang with your gay friend. Broke tabernacles to go out of town and hang with your gay friend. Then she calls me and she tells me all about this gay guy that Ariala, as a whole entire Hebrew Israelite, would hang out with, spend the night at his house. And even his boyfriend didn't like Ariala. So that's quite curious. So you're pointing fingers at people for alleged sexual misconduct, but you're an adulterer and you were in the truth. And just as a heterosexual period, spending the night kicking it, left a high holy day to hang out with a homosexual. You're talking about me? You shouldn't throw stones if you live in a glass house. Shouldn't do that, right? Now, he's also alleging that I'm posing some type of threat to my wife, who I've never threatened, who I've never touched, got aggressive with, beat on. Never at any point in time, this has never happened. He's alleging that I'm posing some threat, but he actually beats women. Here's the screenshots. This is a major thing. You think you should feel some way I should? You put your hands on me and put my life at risk, put my safety at risk, left me to fend for myself. You then watched out by yourself by signing your lease and attempting to rescind your resignation. Right? Now, he says, you truly don't understand how much I regret that moment. He's regretful, but he's acknowledging he, in fact, did do that. Now, I have never done any violence to the woman in question. Never. But this nigga beats bitches, and he's talking about how dangerous I am to a woman that I've done nothing but love, to a woman that I took out of a piece of garbage 1-bedroom apartment and put in a 5-bedroom house, her and her daughter. I did that, right? I ain't did nothing but love her, even with all the dysfunction. I have loved and took care of that woman for years, right? And I've never hit that woman. You're beating bitches and committing adultery, and you think you could point the finger at me? You weren't the man for the job, nigga. And you allege that you love me, and you told the world you pray that the Most High kills me in front of the world. But you act like you care about that woman and those children who I'm the father of. Why isn't your prayer that I repent? Why isn't your prayer that I get right if I'm so wrong? No, your prayer is that I die, and that's why you went and ran to YouTube to try to get your clout move. I didn't see it, what they were trying to tell me, what they've been trying to tell me about you. I didn't see it, even with the thing with Joel, because I was so objective to the doctrine. I didn't see it, but they were exactly right. You were looking for an opportunity to come up. And how better to take down a nigga that just did 100,000 in a week? Now, when I say that, I don't say that to excuse anything that I've done. And we're going to get to what I've done and what I'm guilty of and what I'm definitely not guilty of. We're going to get there. Trust me. I will be taking full accountability for things I've done. And I will also be taking no accountability for things I haven't done in this conversation. Just to be clear, we're going to get there, right? But we're just moving this thing along. So a guy who's an adulterer who beats women is in no position to point the finger at me in this situation whatsoever, right? Whatsoever. Oh, yeah, you're right. 1 second. Going this way. Now he asks here, look at this. You know you're right. So he says, you truly don't understand how much I regret that moment, how badly I wish I could go back in time and prevent it from happening. Completely acknowledging beating this woman. You also don't understand what true forgiveness is. Just remember that with the measure by which we forgive is the measure Yahweh will forgive us. It's interesting you will say that. Very interesting in this situation that you'll say that, because you're right. There's no forgiveness in you. You are praying for my death. So those kids that woman has, that you'll have to raise alone if I die. I mean, I don't even have to finish that text. I don't even have to finish that sentence, right? But the motives of these individuals are being thoroughly exposed, right? Okay, so Ariella, he's out the picture, right? Let's go to the book of John. Let's go to the book of John. 7:24, right? Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. That's important. Judge not according to appearance and judge righteous judgment. I know this shit looks crazy. I understand it. And it the fuck looks crazy. I know that it is crazy. I know that it is crazy. I understand it's crazy. It's something that I'm certainly ashamed of, regrettable, but it's not what you think it is, right? Let's go here. So I was sent the initial video of Ariella first thing in the morning by Ariella himself, right? So let's go to Exodus 23 and say, thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to rest judgment. Neither shalt thou oh, my fault. Not in the 3, my bad. I need to start Right here, 23 and 1 more fault. Thou shalt not raise a false report. Put not thine hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. And that's a lot of what's going on here. So I was sent the video initially, and it was called Guerilla Hebrew is a cuck that likes to get pegged. Both of those things are goddamn lies. I've never been cucked. I don't like to get pegged. That's not real. Those are emphatically not true. So your emphatic proof, allegedly through text message of conversation, is not emphatic proof that any actual thing has ever occurred. Never. And I've never been cucked, and I don't like to be pegged. That's not real. But I find it interesting that not only Ariala, but then we have Hassad, who would sit up there and do that video knowing that his leader likes to get his ass played with. That's out. That's just like, why are stones being thrown from people with glass houses? And ask me how I know. He was my best friend for 13 years. We could also get his other best friend, Sergeant Yatai, who knows he was 10 years old. That's what he's into. That's what he likes. That's not what I like. And there's not a woman, anybody in the whole world who can give a testimony to say that's what I like. That's not true of him, though. Not at all. Right? So all of these stones are being thrown at me for screenshots of text messages when we got niggas who are actually doing the thing, actually committing sexual offenses and getting their rear ends played with. That's the reality of the situation. Now, again, this doesn't vindicate me in any situation, but here's what I can tell you. I didn't commit any adultery. I didn't commit any rainbow. I didn't commit any pedophilia. That ain't happened. Can everybody say that? Not saying that they're guilty of all the things, but definitely we got an adulterer kicking it with the rainbow, and we got another guy getting his rear end played with. The nerve of niggas to think that they can go on the TV and do this and say this. The nerve. All right. Moving on. Let's go to Leviticus now. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me pull this on here. Leviticus 19, starting at verse 16. Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people. Such an important verse in the Bible, because this is what people just love to do. The Strong's H7400. Slanderer, talebearer, informer. Informer. Funny, because an informant is really who lit the match in this whole situation. Again, I done got the calls from back home, from the land. They let me know that nigga's an informant. Certified. Informer. But look at this. Now, mind you, and here's the funny thing about it. Ariel is the one that called me a while back and told me that word was that he got word that it was an informant near me. Then after the guy left the camp, I got the call he was the informant. And there was verification made through somebody else who's another reliable and credible source. So I want everybody to truly understand motives and who did what here and what they look to gain here, right? But scandalmonger, right? Scandalmonger. That's what a talebearer is, a scandalmonger. So I want you to take a look at the individuals in questions YouTube channels and ask yourself, how many scandals are they constantly trying to jump on? It's almost entirely the content that they make, because they are talebearers. They are scandalmongers. Point blank, period. Right? And that's a sin. I'm going to keep going on. Verse 17, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart, but thou shalt anywise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. Why didn't a brother come to me with a rebuke? A brother who got my phone number, a brother who's known me for years, a brother who's been in my home. Why not? Because there's not real love here. They look to come up off of a situation to make a name out of themselves to try to pull me down. That's the reality of the situation. This is something, especially with Genesis, the whole Genesis exists in spite of me. Literally, when they said their end, our beginning, that wasn't about Esau. And we know that because they told Sergeant Yatab that. It's about us. Sicarii. That's what they set out on. And they haven't been able to do it since they left. So they jumped on their first opportunity, which was my wife operating out of frustration and desperation and wanting to hurt me. And to be honest with you, I can't even be. I'll get to her in a minute, you know. But you know, this is just an ugly situation. Thou shalt not bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am Yahweh. So what's so crazy is a little over a week ago, somebody came on Deacon's Not Gonna Lie, right? You know, the anonymous questions. And they said, man, I heard you was still pimping hoes. Somebody said that. Now, I had already heard that, right? And it got to me that somebody asked him on the Not Gonna Lie. So I called him, and mind you, I ain't spoke to him in months. So I called him and I let him know the source of that information, right? And I let him know that when that source was looking to bring things to the surface, I calmed him down, told him, don't even worry about it. If you having issues with him, you can just get from around him. It's good. Don't do all that, right? So that's what I just did for him a week ago. And he knows that. That's the courtesy. That's the love that I showed him, where I didn't want somebody trying to bring a scandal out against him because I didn't necessarily even believe it was true, right? Even though I called somebody else and they told me the same thing, word around town is he got that going on. I don't necessarily believe that. I think people can maybe assume things because they're looking at him and they're looking at, you know, things he has and making assumptions. But to me, that's a little far-fetched, right? So I called him and I did him the courtesy of allowing him to know that there was a narrative being pushed about him and who the source of it was. Could nobody call me? Could nobody let me know? Could nobody put me down? Could nobody, hey man, Chief, you tripping. Could nobody do that? Okay. All right, smooth. I see where the love is. I get it. I get it. It's all right. It's all right. You know, so and also they got some type of a financial collection for this woman saying she has no money. She literally just got her tax return this week. I give her money every single week. That's a lie. They're lying. Okay. She's never been in fear for her life. There's never been a threat made to her. This guy, Ariala, said I sent her a Joker card, and that meant that I'm on demon time. Apparently in the LA gang world, the Joker card means you're on demon time. That's news to me. I've been in a gang for 25 years and I never heard of that before. So that's news to me. When I send her the Joker card, what I mean is you played your card and the joke's on you. That's what that meant. Not I was gonna do. Why would I throw my life away? Why would I harm the mother of my children? Let's just be sensible here. I want you to understand, even through all of this, I love that woman. I miss that woman. I wish right now that I could hug that woman. Why? Because I know that this is coming from a place of hurt. I know that I have hurt her. I know that I have mishandled that situation, and I'm truthfully, deeply sorry for it. And I wish that I just knew the remedy to fix it. I wish so bad. I wish so desperately I had the magic potion to fix this shit. From the bottom of my heart, right? Just being real. And we're going to get into all that here in a second. We're going to get into all that here in a second. Now, of course, there's a plethora of screenshots and, you know, I'm not going to tell you that was AI, deep fake. It's not. There does need to be context, though. There definitely needs to be context. All of that was done purely in the realm of fantasy within the confines of the threads of me and my wife, and I think it's highly unfair that me and my wife's private correspondence are being displayed to the world. I don't think that anybody would appreciate their correspondence with any woman that they have any romantic or sexual dealings with being exposed to the world. I don't feel like it was necessary. I feel like this is literally done just to tear me down. That's it. That's the only motive here. Tear me down. It's very clear. I think it's quite funny how interested and how happy people are to see it. Let us just take a look. Let me look at the views right now. We're at 1,500 views. This channel is never at 1,500 views live. That's how interested people are in and invested people are in the fall of Guerilla Hebrew. Right? But I take full ownership for the correspondence because I did send them. And she also sent them. I'm being framed as a predator when, we were a couple engaging in sexting, and that ranged in nature. It just was what it was. But I want to address something because I got screenshots too. Specifically, now I want to go here because there's, this domination stuff and things of that nature. And I want to address that because that's not something that I'm into, right? And this is y'all saw text messages if y'all watched the video in regards to her and the domination stuff, strap-ons, all the stuff, right? So this is what I say to her. Let's just go vanilla and love each other. Now, just so y'all understand what vanilla means, vanilla sex refers to traditional heterosexual sexual activities without any unusual or adventurous elements. So what am I telling her? I just want to go vanilla and love her. This is what she responds to me. So I'm being called a predator. This is the response I get to wanting to have regular sex with her. Just for the record. She said, I love you either way. I just don't like you all the time. What was the solution you had mentioned earlier? Because I mentioned a solution to our problems. I said, I feel the same way. I just really want to work on us. She said, how is this realistic? I said, I think it is. She said, what's the plan? I said, I need to cater to you better emotionally. This is what she says. This is how she says I can cater to her better emotionally. Letting me dominate you will help. There's text messages that are being used to make me look like a predator when I'm literally in this thread, in this particular instance, a man attempting to fix and save my marriage. And she's telling me that's going to help cater to her emotionally. So just so you guys understand the context of where some of this stuff is coming from, she's asking me to participate in this, though I'm telling her I don't want to. I want to have a normal sex life, but I do want to cater to her emotionally. And this is what she's asking me to do in order to help her be catered to emotionally. And this is why it's very unfair for the inner workings of a marriage to be exposed to the world, because there are so many aspects of it. There's so many things and nuances that are not being dealt with or discussed or understood or need to be. There's dirty laundry that doesn't need to be aired out. Now, again, if I was doing something and saying, I got you, but additionally, matter of fact, even before I get there, kind of outside of this though, because that's the domination aspect. And that's never nothing I was into at any point. There was a pagan kit that was definitely purchased and I made it disappear. It vanished. Ask her. Anybody can ask her. Ask her where it went. It vanished. She's asking me, where'd it go? I'm playing stupid. Where is it? I'm not into that, bro. That's not what I'm into. That's not what I'm about. That's not what I'm down with. never have been, never fucking will be, right? So I don't want that on my jacket whatsoever. I won't accept it. But there's things I will own. Because I'm gonna kind of bring us to kind of the point now through the Spirit. And all praise again to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Over the course of time, I definitely developed an arousal to certain things. She got a mouth on her, and I like that about her, right? I like women who got mouths on them. Always have since a kid. The girls in the hood with they had the mouths. I always like that. And there's through that, she I ain't even gonna do that. Right. I'm gonna just put it to you like that. I've always had a thing for girls with mouths. And just kind of through that, over the course of time, I kind of developed this weird fixation on, kind of certain relationships. It just, just the idea of, a black woman trading on us. Like, first I was angry about it. Then it kind of became a fixation. Then, frankly, I was aroused by it. And that's just me being totally fucking transparent with y'all. It is what it is. It's the truth. And if I want Yahweh to fight for me, I gotta just tell y'all niggas the truth. That's reality. But the cold part about all this is, she's showing y'all text messages. Those happened. But I've been stopped all that. I've been turned from that. I've been went to therapy about it and everything. So I've been repented. I've been went to therapy. This been happened. This didn't just happen. This been happened. And in therapy, my therapist, she asked me, she's like, where did it come from? Where did this, attraction come from? And I had to think. And I realized it's really like anger driven. A lot of the anger and the frustration that we have, and y'all know we have it, towards Esau, it would really, piss me off like it pissed so many of us off to see sis with him. And that's where it kind of came from. I can't explain it. It was always a shameful thing to me though. And I always was confused, like, why am I like that? Why was that doing that for me? And then through getting with her, and she got a hell of a mouth on her. And, frankly, she looks down on us. And when I say us, she looks down on black men. Myself and black men in general, it's just the truth. And that kind of was just playing into the whole thing. But again, through therapy, and again, I've been in therapy. I've been turned from anything that's being talked about. I've been months ago, been repented from, which is also why this whole thing is bullshit, because nobody asked me if I had already repented. Nobody asked me, like, I didn't get caught in the act just now. This is old shit that's being brought up. I've already turned from. So again, when I just, okay, boom, I'm in therapy. She, okay, where you think it came from? And, I just, I came to the conclusion, and then I learned about something called escalation, sexual escalation. So through consumption of pornographic imagery, you go through a process sometimes called sexual escalation. So what happens is your sexual appetite escalates because you get desensitized to regular sex. You see what I'm saying? So all of that played a factor. And we know in the flesh dwelleth no good thing. So if there's any bad thing in your flesh, that's something Satan is liable to attack and you're liable to fall victim. So I could admit I fell victim. But as the scriptures say, a righteous man falleth 7 times, but he get up. And I don't believe a righteous man is defined by his falls. I believe he's defined by the times he stands up, you know. So, you know, I understood that, and she knows that. And I've been talking to her about it and understanding the error and doing the exercises to totally rid myself of the whole concept. And through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai, I can say, you know, we there. And you know, I wrote her a letter and I read it, acknowledging, so just to re-emphasize my repentance and how apologetic I was about any aspect of any of it. I already did that. And she cried and told me how beautiful it was and still did this shit. So again, I've been repenting. I've been turned from it. I've been acknowledged this. I've been apologized to her multiple times, but wrote her a whole letter about it. She, again, accepted the apology, accepted the repentance, and then turned around, had a secret meeting with niggas that she knew was out to get me, and told them the only way she'd provide them with the information is if they would skip counsel and go right to YouTube. Right? So let's go back to the Bible. This is the book of Sirach, 8 and 5. Reproach not a man that turneth from sin, but remember that we all are worthy of punishment. And I think a lot of people are forgetting that because I turned from it. It didn't take this situation for me to turn from it. I already turned from it, right? Which brings me to my next point. Ezekiel 18 is starting at 21. But if the wicked will turn from all his sins that he hath committed and keep all my statutes and do that which is lawful and right, he shall surely live, he shall not die. All his transgressions that he hath committed, they shall not be mentioned unto him. In righteousness that he hath done, he shall live. Have I any pleasure at all that the wicked should die, Ariella? Saith Yahweh God, and not that he should return from his ways and live? Most High wants us to return from our ways and live. And I already turned from this, acknowledged this, sought repentance, got therapy from a therapist in the world, I've already gone through repentance and total action of turning from this. All of it. And she's acknowledged that. So for her to do this is, you know, is very hurtful. It's very, very hurtful, but it's okay. I can't hold that, you know, a grudge against anybody. So any Israelite. And I just gotta do my best to understand her position and things like that. But I understand I've let myself down. I've let all of y'all down. You know, and I get that, you know, and I'm not making any excuse about that. And I'm ashamed of that. And I know a lot of y'all, there's a lot of niggas that's happy about that. But a lot of y'all, I promise you, would fold under this pressure. I promise you couldn't sit where I'm sitting. I promise you couldn't walk a motherfucking block in my shoes. I promise you niggas, you couldn't do it. You couldn't do it since I was a kid, let alone now. But y'all want the spot, so I'm gonna let y'all have it. I'm stepping back from Sicarii. You know, Passover is still going down here in Atlanta. Priest Ash will be presiding over the Passover. I don't even know if I'll be there, frankly. You know, I'm just gonna step back. Like I said, I've already turned and repented. You know, but I guess I got to step back some more. And maybe do some more soul searching, some more reflecting. I told y'all I was having some family issues that probably need my attention right now anyway. You know, a lot of y'all know me. A lot of y'all have seen me for years, watched me for years. You have a good idea of my character. Those of y'all who know me, been around me closely, done the work with me, y'all niggas know me. Y'all know me though. Y'all know who I am. You know what I'm about. You know what my priorities are. And I can just sit here and say right now that I just praise the Most High, regardless, but I know where my intentions are. I know my hands are clean. I know that I've been put this shit behind me. I know it. So I ain't tripping. Yahweh will always be victorious. And how his victory plays out, you feel me, is going to be however it plays out. That's up to him. I told y'all, brother had the dream, the stars, all the various things. And I said, I'm not exempt. I said this year was going to be big. And that don't exempt me from nothing. I'm just a nigga, dog. I'm just a vessel. I'm just, you know, I'm expendable. The Most High don't need me. Never did. That's one of the first lessons you learn when you come to Sicarii. The Most High don't need you. So I'm going to fall back. I'm going to let y'all have it. Y'all want the spot so bad? Go ahead, sit into the spot. Ain't no telling when I'm going to be back. Ain't no telling what I'm going to be doing. Captain Tazama Mafo have the reins of Sicarii. To all my brothers in Sicarii who are hurt. I love you niggas. I wouldn't trade none of you niggas for the world. If y'all got to bag up, I understand. Unlike other situations, I'm not going to have the harsh judgment that I would, because I understand the gravity of this situation. I understand, you know, how negative of a look this is. And, you know, it was an honor serving you niggas, honor teaching you niggas. You know, man, this shit is my life, man. And I put you niggas before my kids, nigga. I put you niggas before everything, man. I put you niggas before everything, man. I put you niggas before everything, bro. Before everything, my nigga. I really gave my life to this shit because I know it's the truth and I know it's the right thing. I know it's the right thing, man. And whatever you got from me, my nigga, take that shit, do what the fuck you supposed to do, nigga. Do what I showed you to do, nigga. Do what I showed you to do, nigga. All praises, man. I'm going.